What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode 241 of the Dumbars Podcast. WTF just happened. Just, YouTube will have that 10-second delay or whatever. First words.
It'll get there.
Fellas, how's the week going?
Not too bad, man. How you doing?
I'm here. Long week of sleeping in and watching TV. Had so much planned, did absolutely nothing.
I mean, it rained most of the week, so couldn't take care of the outside again.
That was a plus. You still in the same predicament, Steve?
No, I need to seriously contemplate moving somewhere else. This doom and gloom and just rain bullshit all the time is I'm over it. Like, I am. We get like 60 nice days a year. It's just I'm over it. Like,
it's coming. You get a
I was gonna say we get 2 or 3 this week. So
yeah, whatever. I got it.
I blame the dark cloud around Pittsburgh yesterday on something else, but
it's ridiculous. So just put you in a bad mood. I'm over it.
We're opposite people, man. I thrive in it.
You were simply born in the darkness.
Literally was. I think we're like the 4th gloomiest city in all of the United States of America. We're definitely in the top 5. If we're not 4, we're 5.
Is 849 in September dark? Maybe born in the darkness.
Yeah, it should be. It should count.
So let's hop on into this week in wrestling. So I'm seeing a lot of buzz saying AEW is on the rise and WWE is on the decline.
No.
I see WWE people saying it too. So I'm just wondering, is it just because this is their WrestleMania they're building to, or times changing?
Times aren't changing. No. For me, they're both on the decline.
I mean, like, look, people are just touting this high buy rate for a double or nothing, and just it was such a high buy rate. They did 122. It was such a high buy rate. They absolutely, counter programming didn't work. Blah, blah, blah. They're down year over year, and it's like their 5th or 6th pay-per-view in a row where it's down year over year, comparable to the same exact event last year. Stop worrying about the counter programming. Stop worrying about what WWE does. Stop worrying about the booking that WWE has.
And WWE, stop worrying about AEW.
Yes.
I don't care that you did 122 or 123, whatever the buy rate was for Double or Nothing, if it's down from the year previous.
And hey, how about put on a better pay-per-view? Because I did not.
It's the highest rated pay-per-view on I can't think of the name
Cage
of the
Match,
website
I
now.
think.
Yeah, on Cage Match. It's the highest rated pay-per-view.
No, Revolution was far above that, yeah.
So it was just a shitty week for PVEs altogether.
Oh, dude. It's going to be a coin flip when we actually talk about Mount Rushmores.
The main event.
Because I had more stuff on my mush than even close. I'm still pissed about last weekend right now.
My Mount Rushmore started on Sunday and it never got knocked off. So I'll leave it there.
Okay.
But the main event of Double or Nothing, the bell.
I'm surprised it wasn't Saturday.
To start the match, the bell rang at 11:47 p.m. on Sunday night.
Yep. Pay-per-view ended at around 12:30.
5.5 hours.
I think even more. Might even been close to 6.
Well, the pay-per-view started at 8.
Yeah.
Plus the pre-show.
And the pre-show has been running like an hour and a half or so.
Gotta find that sweet spot.
No, how about not give every single match on the card 30 minutes?
Yep.
True.
How about that?
And not have 10 matches on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't have to mimic WWE and do a 5-match card, but you can limit this.
Yeah, trim it down. There was some stuff that didn't deserve to be on there.
Oh,
half of that pay-per-view was a Wednesday or Thursday night.
We talked about during the predictions last week. Yeah, there were plenty that could have been either moved to the pre-show or cut to, like what Steve said, could have been on Collision or Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm so sick of the timelines just being, oh, WWE counter programming, WWE scared, and AEW this. And it's like, bro, what are we doing? Your supposed greatest pay-per-view of all time by ratings, you followed it up with a dud of a show on Wednesday night.
I agree.
A dud.
I didn't even watch any of the programming Monday through Friday. I watched some clips online because that's how bad last weekend pissed me off.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll spot check a lot of things.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Battleground. I watched it live.
Did enjoy that, yes.
Saturday night's main event I watched. I didn't watch Double or Nothing live. I wasn't doing 2 shows at once. I'm not not.
Yes, yeah.
That's too much. I watched Double or Nothing live, and then I went back and watched Battleground.
Okay.
So I was the opposite of that.
If it wasn't the whole AEW smashed the counter programming and they buried WWE and WWE scared, if it wasn't all that on my timeline, it was Mariah May.
I agree, Ty. The crowd was definitely into the event.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that the crowd is still into everything.
Yeah.
Even for me, whenever it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that show truly highlighted, if it didn't sink in by now, and I keep hoping for something else.
Mm-hmm.
But Double or Nothing just rubber stamped, highlighted, 76 font. AEW was strictly matches for matches' sake. They're not giving you nothing else. Too. They're not going to give you nothing else.
Do you feel invested in the main storyline with Hangman being the guy?
No. You want to know? You want to know why? Because what they did Wednesday night made no sense.
I saw what happened. I didn't understand that either.
What you had to give?
Hangman comes out, cuts a babyface promos, and instead of John Moxley coming out, you have Swerve come out to tout this conspiracy Young Buck theory, and the Young Bucks helped Hangman, and Hangman was behind it. Hangman says, no, what do you get? Will Ospreay out to tell Swerve that I'm not the guy, Hangman's the guy, and we need to team up together to take down the Death Riders. No interaction with Moxley at all, and guess who's out in the next match? Moxley.
To me, that after I saw that promo, that says to me that Hangman's not beating Moxley.
Because you need the rub from Ospreay.
It's not even that. It's just, if we're not even going to focus on it being Hangman versus Moxley. Mm.
So now I got
to me that they're whatever they're doing with the 3 of them is more important, or if they're going to go to another fucking like blood and guts match or some bullshit.
So I got 7 weeks of Hangman, Ospreay, and Swerve trying to get over their differences to wrestle the Death Riders in some form or fashion for 7 weeks until we get Hangman and Moxley at the pay-per-view at All In and Swerve versus Ospreay at the pay-per-view at All In.
I'm not watching anything AEW until All In. If I'll watch All In, I'll go into it blind. But if they don't care about the stories going in, and this is how I felt coming off of Double or Nothing. Mm-hmm. That to me, the event just wasn't anything special to warrant all the time I spent watching it. And then if they're not going to care going in like week to week, like let me take a break from TV and see if I enjoy All In any better. Not that I was consistently watching AEW anyways week to week, but we'll see how it shows up. But right now, AEW's given me one event since like October. Since that's when Moxley became champion, right? October, November. Like,
October.
Since then, I could give two shits about AEW week to week. I was giving them more time because I was like, maybe this is leading up to something. And then it's just been disappointment after disappointment after disappointment.
Bro, there was even stuff on the pay-per-view that made no sense.
Yeah.
Like, you have a stretcher match that wasn't a stretcher match. It was an ambulance match. For Mark Briscoe to then come out of the ambulance later on in the show to defend and help out the Ops and Swerve in Anarchy in the Arena.
That match was fucking terrible.
It got 5 stars from Meltzer.
I saw. Terrible. That went on way too long.
It's like, why is Mark Briscoe coming out? Why? For what?
By the time the main event actually happened, and Steve brought up, start bell rang 11:45 for us. At that point, I was just totally exhausted and turned out of everything that event had given me. So it's like, even if that match was worth the 5.5 stars that Meltzer gave it, I didn't really care at that point.
I get that feeling watching the regular shows through the week.
But good.
Like, I can't tell you, I haven't finished the main event in the past 3 weeks. I finished last night with Cena and Cody. Other than that, I haven't finished the main event on the main roster in forever. Still watch them.
And to what Steve's saying, I feel the same way about WWE.
Yeah.
Like, why do I give a shit about John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody and Jay? That we're less than 2 weeks just throwing a match together at Saturday night's main event. Didn't give a shit about most of Saturday night's main event either.
This was the Travis Scott tag team match that I talked about.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's not, but still,
he flaked.
Throwing it together. It's another, like, we call AEW throwing matches together at the last minute for an event. I'm gonna call it on WWE for throwing together a match at the last minute.
Yes.
Travis Scott flaked and bailed out on WWE, so you wasted Travis Scott with The Rock and John Cena. You wasted Travis Scott in your ending of WrestleMania for what? No payoff.
And you're wasting Cody's return too. Like, you have him come back just to come back at Saturday night's main event to call for a tag match.
Yeah. That was a waste. Like, other than the event itself, Money in the Bank, I could care less about the build to this.
Yeah.
But you got Triple H coming out this week that says he don't even like Money in the Bank as the prop. So you're killing your pay-per-view before you even have the pay-per-view.
I didn't see that. But...
And the one singular person that everybody wants in Money in the Bank match is not in Money in the Bank.
Fatu?
No.
Penta?
No. Penta's in the match.
Oh, he won on Monday? Okay.
Yeah, he won on Monday.
Phoenix didn't. Except the Chad Gable spot. I did see that.
Who, Chelsea?
Karrion Kross.
Who was he in a match with? I didn't even...
He's not in a qualifier.
Oh, he didn't even get a qualifier.
No.
Who's the last match? Did they announce it?
It's AJ, El Grande Americano, and CM Punk.
Why is Punk in the Money in the Bank? Oh.
You know why.
Because he's going to cash in on Cena.
Let Steve stew on that one for a second.
What would that for? He's been misused the whole time he's been here.
Yes.
So.
I have a theory. I have a theory as to why he's not, and I don't know if this is the right show to deep dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a theory, and it's counterintuitive to what normally happens with wrestling booking, but to give it a couple more weeks to see if the momentum still builds, and then I'll bring it up, because I may bring it up next week on Wrestling Roulette, because
Money in the Bank predictions next week too.
True, yeah, that's right.
Steve, we haven't said this in a while, but you're throwing logic into wrestling. You know what happens when you try to throw logic into wrestling.
No. This is going to sound anti-logical, but it does make sense if they do it a certain way. So
Okay.
I'll tease it and leave it out there, but it's just like he's starting to get the organic seeds are beginning to sprout.
Okay.
If after WrestleMania interview rant on Sam Roberts was the planting of the seed, it's starting to sprout, and I'm just waiting to see how they handle the growing of the tree, so to speak, or of the flower. Whatever you want to call it.
True talk. I hope you get what you want, because I hope it's not one of those situations where it's like you're invested in somebody so much, like Steve is with him for so many years, and it's like that Vince McMahon. You just got to learn how to be disappointed with somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was just a lot of messiness and stuff on the timeline this week. Like I said, I'm just so over the constant back and forth and bickering. And then it went from, now they're running 4 or 5 more shows that are going to counter program weekends. And they've already laid out, Evolution. And it's like, bro, who cares?
It's a busy season. Some shit's going to touch.
But they're just making it more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can go into that now, but that was going to be part of my
Bro, it's like, it's no different than the NFL booking. The NFL having the first round of the playoffs this past year during college football's first ever playoff run.
Yeah.
It's like, so what? Now college football fans are going to be mad at NFL fans and vice versa. Like think about that. It's like, no, I get to watch either NFL playoffs or college football playoffs. I can watch both, depending. Some people like NFL more than college and vice versa. It's the same thing. It's no different than Eastern Conference Finals and the NHL Conference Finals going on at the same time. It's like, it's no different. It's the same thing. So I don't understand it. Just because it's wrestling, it's done to eliminate the competition, and it's done out of spite, and it's like, who gives a fuck? It's on. Watch it or don't watch it. I watched the free shit. I didn't watch the paid shit live. It is what it is.
And if it were version,
just every single body with a goddamn theory and everything else, it's like, yo, kids make me not want to watch wrestling anymore at all.
And it's the fans that kill it for me.
For me, it's not even that aspect of it. Like the pettiness, I guess, it may be part of it, but it's the oversaturation that I'm talking about that WWE's trying to do. That, we saw this past weekend with running the 2 shows, back to back. Next week, we have 2 shows in the same day, back to back. Yeah. And then in July, you're going to have 3 shows in 2 days, because you're going to start with NXT in the afternoon, Saturday night's main event, and then the next day, Evolution. And apparently WWE didn't do their homework on that one, because Evolution in Atlanta is going to run right next door to Beyonce. So, good. So what are we going to have? So if fans don't attend that one, are we going to hear women can't draw again?
Bro, tomorrow's the first day without wrestling in an 8-day period.
That'll be a good break.
Yeah.
Good break.
It's
and then next weekend, 3 events again.
Fatigue.
Don't oversaturate the market.
Like wrestling fatigue.
Let breathe. Yeah, let it breathe a little bit. And it's like, that's not, I know that's not TKO's MO because they did the same fucking thing with UFC. And that's all, we're just going to get more and more of this as it goes on.
If it can print pay, if it can make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to steal this one from PTI. Trick Williams winning the TNA title. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
Is this on anybody's Mount Rushmore or mush?
It's ish on Donald's Rushmore. I can say Donald's to tie in with it.
Okay.
Because his is just the unpredictability that brought us that NXT brought us this week, with Trick winning, and then to Ricky winning, and then to Stephanie losing. It's not the same run of the mill thing for him. He said it kept us on our feet with all this stuff.
True indeed.
Yeah, I was gonna text in the group chat the title for the show, shock value. But what the fuck? Just WTF just happened. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, did I expect Trick to beat Joe Hendry? No, not after everything that I've heard from Joe Hendry as far as interview wise, run wise, etc. I think the bigger surprise was
not wrong time.
Stephanie losing on Tuesday
To JC.
I called that. I feel like I called the whole the whole show. I called the whole show, but it was like I was still shocked when it happened.
Okay.
Because like I was just feeling like I bet she loses this tonight for some reason. But I was just shocked when it happened. Like I just flippantly like, oh, and JC's winning this. No true belief behind it, but
yeah, I mean, I look, I have no problem with Trick winning it. Is it a history making moment? Mm-hmm. Yes. Does it help with the partnership? Potentially. I don't like that they immediately ran into Santana and Trick. I thought they would save that for Slammiversary.
That was because they brought Santana. Was like, this would be a nice pairing to go. This would be instead of having Joe Hendry go back at him, build somebody else. And it was like the Santana could be that guy. Then next thing you know, he's coming out the same episode. Like you could have waited.
Now I love Santana's promo against Trick.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
He ate him up.
Yeah.
The high heels and tight pants line was tremendous. And then I thought you got good heat on Trick on Thursday by not having him appear.
I mean, that wasn't going to happen anyways. But
I get it. But at the same time, you would think he would be live. And he sent over a video. So immediately you're automatically getting
Hollywood Trick,
the TNA fan base all riled up because not only does an outsider have the TNA title, you defeated arguably your most over babyface in TNA to win that title, for the champion not even to show up on the show after he won the title. So
with Joe not being run back into the rematch, say like next week, because I thought we were going to get something against all odds next Friday, and we're doing it on Tuesday night on NXT. It makes me wonder if Joe's contract's about up, and this is their way of wrapping that up. And then
I know he said his contract is coming up, but he didn't say when it comes up. Mm-hmm. It came out this week that we talked about it last week with Ace Austin's contract. It came out this week that TNA offered Ace Austin, and Ace Austin told him no.
Okay.
He wants to be a free agent. So, that premature burial of TNA not offering him a deal, right? Like, is TNA ultimately another feeding ground for WWE to get talent from? Yes. Do I think selective TNA talent are on WWE's radar? Yes. Do I fully expect Joe Hendry to sign a deal with WWE? Yes.
And even still, if he does, you can still run him as a TNA champ. You still have that option.
You could, but I think if they're going to sign him to a WWE contract, he gets moved over to the main roster right away.
I mean, look, you had all these call-ups this week. Vakir's called up. She's on Raw. Jordan Grace is called up. She's on SmackDown. Ricky Starks is going to be called up. Don't know which roster he's on.
Mm-hmm.
So Mariah May has signed with WWE. So you're thinking, okay, does she slide into NXT because you need to replace? I don't see Mariah May as an NXT talent, but at the same time, you know, give her a little run.
Yeah. I mean, Mariah's not. I know she did Stardom and stuff, but she's gonna need to be acclimated to a WWE ring and all that. So,
well, that's what I mean. Like, give her time, just like they did with Stephanie, Julia, Jordan. Yeah. But to me, Mariah's in that category with them, where she's not going to be down there long.
I'm fine with that.
I didn't see the news of Jordan getting called up, so.
Yeah, she's going to be on SmackDown's roster.
Expecting like maybe her being the face to JC's heel, but I guess
which is that rare move in NXT where two people in a match get called up.
But that's why I'm saying it would make sense if Mariah May comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because while she may not be a true baby face, they can fit her into that tweener role, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm excited to see what JC does. Do I like the Mandy Rose Toxic Attraction timeline that they put her on? No, because Mandy's title win was shock and awe too.
Mm-hmm.
JC's was way more out of left field than Mandy's was, but Mandy's was just as unbelievable as JC's.
And that built Mandy Rose. That put her into a whole nother stratosphere,
right?
As far as a character.
Yeah. So I mean, like the
reaction
that they got from like, there was probably about 8 or 9 reaction memes that were generated out of that fucking conclusion on Tuesday night.
That's all they care about. From
the ring announcer to everybody in the crowd, I just saw me.
I wonder if JC even knew.
They called it in the ring.
But yeah, between her, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James, those are 3 I've been caping since the beginning because they are the best. They're the complete packages down there.
That's too open-ended, DJ.
They give you the in-ring is great, character work is great, mic skills is great. Everybody else has aspects to grow in there. They may not be the superstars that you expect them to be, but they're consistent and good in that aspect. So I'm glad they put it on JC. Our Jammers do. For at least some kind of singles gold.
But back to your initial question with Trick. If he immediately drops the belt on Tuesday night, it was all for nothing. It was just to do it.
Which
I do expect Santana to be the guy to win the belt.
Mm.
And for me, that has to be at Slammiversary.
Okay.
So I don't know what type of finish we get on Tuesday night, but we got to have something to prolong this to get it to Slammiversary.
Because if he drops it again, I don't want to be like, what do we do with Trick? We're going to be in that same boat again.
But you got keeping the belt on NXT live each week is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have 2 months of the champion really not being on TNA, that's a lot.
Yeah, we got TNA coming here the 20th and 21st that we're going to see live, right?
Because they're doing Against All Odds this Friday, and then they'll tape a couple weeks until they come here. Yeah.
So, you know,
and then that'll be Slammiversary build up whenever they come here.
Yeah. So I expect them. I'm hoping they do it right. Listen, I'm open to it. I'm not going to compare it to Omega and Christian with the TNA title being outsiders and that whole run and see. But I am going to look at it to see what the differences are because the partnerships are different. So while it's not going to be a direct comparison, I'm just going to be looking to see, does WWE help elevate and benefit TNA during this situation, unlike AEW? Because AEW with Omega winning and Christian, they did nothing to elevate TNA.
And you really saw their talent on AEW. So you're getting the crossover both ways, which is good.
I just hope they don't make it as a transitional champion just to put the belt on Santana on Tuesday. I'm with you guys. I want to see it happen at Slammiversary.
Yeah.
Give it the big moment, but
yeah,
saw that tie.
They updated that graphic real quick, but it was already out there. So
when does that happen?
Tonight.
Tonight. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Vikingo and Alberto El Patron is tonight, and then Rose Clyde's next week. So
live on YouTube.
Well, you know who's winning that match on Saturday. All right, let's hop into our Mount Rushmore. Let's go with Mount Rushmore's. We got to show.
I said mine was from the weekend and it didn't get knocked off its perch, but I know what I sent in the group chat was not it. However, Ron Cena was absolutely tremendous on Saturday night's main event. The whole gimmick, everything about it was tremendous. But my Mount Rushmore is women's wrestling. You had Sol Ruca and Kalani open the show for Battleground, and you had Mercedes and Jamie Hayter open the show for Double or Nothing. And I thought both women's matches set the tone for the night on each perspective's pay-per-view. I thoroughly enjoyed both matches. Arguably my favorite matches from each of the shows. But yeah, they showed up and showed out, and not to be outshadowed because, later on, Jordan and Stephanie was really good, and so was why am I blanking? Tony and Mina. So I thought the women really showed up and showed out from a match quality wise on a pay-per-view. But it was just nice to see that women opened both shows. All four women delivered. And you didn't, for a brief moment, you didn't have Kalani and Sol was better than this. Like, you didn't have that instantaneous comparison. It was just people excited that, oh shit, women are opening both of these shows and all four of these women are delivering. It wasn't long lived, but it was a short period of time. But like,
do they do that with women though?
Yeah, I mean, like after the matches were over, they immediately hopped into which match was better, Mercedes and this or Kalani. Like, you saw it immediately. Like,
other than the Charlotte hate and the Sasha hate, I don't get much on my timeline of pitting the women versus each other. You'll get a lot with the Seth and Ospreay and who's better, but I don't see much of that on my timeline, which is good. I'm glad.
I see just more of it as company versus company more than anything else. I mean, we talk about on here all pretty much weekly how women's wrestling is the most enjoyable thing for most of us.
Yeah. I mean, this is the second or third match with Sol and Kalani, and them two just have it in the ring with each other. Like, you find your partner and you make magic every time you go out.
That needs to be the Charlotte.
I'm not saying they're on Bailey and Sasha's level as having
banger
5-star matches after 5-star matches, but they have that chemistry between them two. So, like, let them two go at it as much as they want. Like, I'm never not going to watch a Sol and Kalani match. The Soul Snatcher finish, while you can say it was choreographed, that was one of the best finishes I've seen in a match. You know, and then Mercedes and Jamie, they did a tremendous job in their match as well, setting the tone. I don't like how they booked Jamie coming out of Double or Nothing with that botch of a debut. But yeah, women for me,
that's going to be one. It doesn't matter at that. It'll be she's going to prove why she deserves to be there because she is a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So women in opening both shows for me is the Mount Rushmore for me this week.
There's a reason why mine isn't my pick as my Mount Rushmore, but it's going to tie in with Steve's. And I'm sure you guys all know why it won't be number one. But I'm going to give the 1B to Athena for being champion for 900 plus days this week. The reason why it's not, who's fucking watching it? And that's the whole problem there.
Yeah. Tony Khan's booking plans for Athena was to have her lose in a second round matchup to Mercedes. What are we doing? What are we doing?
So they didn't do it this week. The past couple weeks, they haven't been doing it consistently, but like alternating weeks that they've been showing Ring of Honor on YouTube. And I'm hoping that they're testing this, you know, to possibly like do it more consistently, because then maybe people will actually be able to watch it and enjoy the title run. But probably by the time they put it on YouTube, her title run will probably wrap up.
So does she have any plans for All In right now?
Nope. After you had her there to announce All In Texas, she was there with Swerve as champions.
Got to build her up somehow.
She'll defend the Ring of Honor title there.
She's from Texas.
Yeah. Should be on the card. Should have been her debut on like big debut match on the card, but
it should have been her versus Mercedes.
True.
Ty, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But my mush, I'll give it, and it's tying with
Steve. You just jumping into mushes? You give not mush,
no, sorry, not Rushmore. Sorry. My Mount Rushmore ties in with Steve because it was the only thing that entertained me all week that I watched and all weekend last weekend was Ron Cena. I was thinking about flipping it if you gave it, but
that I got to pop out of that. It was just match of the night for me, just because of just because of John Cena or Ron Cena.
Yeah, just because of him.
Yeah,
it was a 4-minute match, and it was the best thing on the show.
Because he's entertaining, and that was the only real entertainment I got all weekend.
And then,
I tied that in, Taekwon. Like I saw some hate for Jordan. I don't know if it was there a spot with dropping her on her head. There was just
Truth popped me last night because he almost got seen it, or he almost got sold. He got sold up crack, which is rare to get him on camera.
Are you husky? Who's called anybody husky?
Since husky.
Do they still make those pants houses for kids, or is that shame?
I don't know. That was you want to felt like you want to kill somebody's self-esteem. I don't know. You can't buy regular jeans. You got to buy husky jeans.
That was me as a kid.
Lived in the husky section. Still live in the husky section.
Mine, JC quickly stole number one, but since we talked about it already, mine is a triple threat on Monday night with Penta, Chad Gable, and
Dragon Lee.
Use more Dragon Lee, but that match delivered some unsafe spots in there, but wrestling's been sloppy all this week.
Yeah, I saw Chad out and about this week, and that bruise on his face was rough.
Yeah. There's definitely unsafe moments. We saw that with the AEW women's tag team match that they ran back.
Yeah,
from the pre-show that they put on Dynamite.
And Cole.
And then I saw some bullshit comment that the broken nose spot was a work. And it's not a broken nose. They wrote it into the show because Harley Cameron's taking time off. So she purposely broke her nose for time off?
When she come out there looking like Chelsea Green.
But yeah, Penta.
It's the internet.
Penta,
People just say stupid shit constantly.
that triple threat match was on my short list, Jay. For actually, it was number 3 behind Ron Cena and the women. Yeah, Jacob Miller and Andrade again. Another. I hate the triple threat qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. I think it's lazy booking.
It's AEW booking on WWE programming.
But I'm not going to complain because both of those matches this week absolutely slapped.
They deliver, and I hate them because they're never the people I want to win.
They tease you into watching the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people upset that Melo didn't win last night. I definitely would. Andrade would have been 3rd on my list as far as picking who wins that match last night.
People lost money in Vegas on that one.
You gave Melo that bill before the match, the little breakup. I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're going to put him in. But hey. All right, let's slide on over to our mush of the week. Anybody want to go? If not, I'll go. Get Jey Uso off the mic for me. I just have him come out to crowd entrance. I'm tired of seeing him struggle on the mic. I've seen him. He's delivered once on the mic since he's been champ.
DJ, you really didn't miss much last night from SmackDown. Yeah. I mean, that the bright spots was the triple threat match. I thought Naomi hit a home run last night.
Mm-hmm.
I love her character work right now. She was absolutely the right call to get the spot in Money in the Bank.
Don't waste your time on the 20-minute ending segment.
Yeah, no.
I watched. So I went to bed last night at like 9:30. I didn't even.
Man time.
I just called it I called it grandpa time. I went to bed. Went to sleep. I watched the full main event segment this morning. If the wrestling from the women in that wasn't as strong, I would have put Logan Paul on my Mount Rushmore this week.
That was it's Logan Paul, but that was the best he sounded.
Out of the 4 in the ring, he was the one that stood out. And everything he said in his promo was like, not telling any lies. And the fact that John Cena is giving Logan Paul a rub.
Which he wants to kill wrestling. That's why.
I was looking at his facial expression just to see, like, why am I in here with this guy? I just wanted to you have me with Logan Paul.
But yeah, that's about it, DJ, from SmackDown. Not a whole lot of stuff that you need to go back and watch.
You can catch the Truth segment online. I'm sure I've seen it a million times.
Yeah, but Jey Uso on the mic for you, Jay?
Yeah, he just. That's why I didn't say anything yesterday or last night. You have nothing to deliver. I'm tired of seeing you stammer, stutter, fumble over your words. It sounds like me. Fumble over your words. You calm the crowd down just to say nothing. Get him off. Take the belt off him.
I feel the same way about Jimmy when he's on the mic.
To me, Jimmy's better.
I watch a Jimmy promo. It's just like, what did I get out of that?
Solo's the best one out of the 3.
Yeah, I won't argue with that. Just give me Fatu's 2 words.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like say less, fam. Say less.
What's Donald's mush?
Donald's mush is giving the frat house all the time on Dynamite to talk. I swear they were talking for like 10 minutes before the match. Shut the fuck up and job out already.
Win or lose, we booze was the tagline that they went with on Wednesday night.
Why are they on Dynamite instead of staying just on Ring of Honor?
Because everybody that was supposed to be on Dynamite was so banged up from the pay-per-view, they couldn't put them on the show. which
Break
means
glass.
what? You're not wrestling right.
Yeah.
If everybody's banged up coming out of a pay-per-view, you did wrestling wrong.
Hey, WWE's done it too.
Not to the extent where you have to rewrite an entire show.
I don't care to the extent. Again, if we're calling it for one, I'm going to call it for the other one too.
When has WWE had a pay-per-view where talent was not able to come on the next show because of how banged up they were?
It's not even so much that like they won't wrestle. Like they'll always make the appearance, but
So they're still on TV. They're still doing something. AEW, they just weren't there.
yeah, because they need to counter chase you.
Give my man Griff Garrison out of there. I still have hopes for Griff Garrison.
I used to have hopes for Preston Vance. He's fallen down.
Man.
Yeah, Donald asked me, he goes, who's the frat house? Why are they on TV? It's just like, oh, they're a Ring of Honor thing. What are they even doing on AEW programming?
I didn't even know they were a thing until I seen
Yeah. I think they've been on Collision too, but I think that's their Dynamite debut.
Okay.
Could be, but yeah. No argument on any of that, Donald.
Chris, you want to go or you want me to go?
No, I can go. I already alluded to mine, but just in general, the oversaturation of the market, more so with WWE. And we talked about the events earlier, but now SmackDown's going to be staying 3 hours. So
That's not a WWE call, though.
yeah,
That's a USA Network call.
is Nick going to argue against that though? No, he said it with Raw. If they want to pay me for 4 hours, they'll get 4 hours. It's all about. Jason did it last week. It's all about this and not the entertainment value that you're getting out of it.
It's been a struggle to finish.
And this week they announced that they're here in Pittsburgh in June, and you're going to get Raw and SmackDown. You're getting an AEW event here in Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
I'll be there.
No.
You there?
I'll be there. I had a loyal listener to the show reach out. Squeeze hit me up and sent me the graphic double show, and I immediately messaged him back and I said, I'm not paying those prices, not going. Like, I'm going to TNA the week before. I'll watch it at the crib. And he responded back, what if I give you the brother discount and all you got to do is buy me a beer? And then he told me what section the seats are in and what the discount was plus a beer. And I was like, all right, I'm in. So I'll be attending the double dip sesh.
You in green shirt seats?
Yeah, we're in section 107, bro.
Okay.
Ready to go. So yeah, I'll be there for the double dip. It's gonna be a very long night.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I can work from home the next day, because if I had to turn around, wake up, and go back into the office, it'd be a no.
If you leave work that day, if you're in the office, you can go right over there because it starts at 5:30.
Oh no, I will be literally downtown
Yeah.
from 6:30 a.m. until probably midnight on that Monday.
Definitely a good chance on that.
Not leaving.
Yeah, but
It's just, again, it's not, they don't care about the entertainment. They just care about putting content out there. If you don't care, why should I care? I said that about AEW how many months ago? That's how I'm feeling about WWE now.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't know this wasn't coming whenever TKO bought them. I was expecting every part of this from watching what they did to UFC. So
my mush this week goes back to wrestlers not working safely. Kyle Fletcher and the power bomb to Adam Cole on the outside of the ring. What are we doing?
that's one person that didn't need that.
You know.
He's missed how much time due to concussions and head injuries, and you run the spot where you completely misjudge where you're at and damn near coulda, woulda, shoulda killed Adam Cole on Wednesday night. And that's not the only spot that they like. Megan Bain breaking Harley Cameron's nose. Megan Bain F5 in Anna Jay's face off of the freaking chair to where she busts her open. Like, the super indie strong style is going to get somebody just really, really hurt at some point in time.
Accidents happen. I understand that. But your number one job, how many wrestlers talk about this, is to protect the other person in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job. Hey, it happened on Saturday night's main event. Selena did it to Chelsea on Saturday night's main event. So again, if we're going to call it for one, we're going to call it for the other one. But
and Chad
accidents
could have been very.
Yeah. Well, look what happened to Chad on Monday. Accidents happen, but you got to learn from it, so you can try to prevent that as best as you can.
But you should know where the producers at in that match to say, "Hey, that spot's not needed.
That's
not with him."
Yeah.
Like you know this. You know his history. You know what is going on. You know what has happened to him. Mm. And why isn't Adam Cole speaking up and saying, "No, I'm not doing it"? If you're the vet and have been in the industry for damn near 20 years, why aren't you stepping up to tell Kyle, "No, I'm not taking that bump"?
He could be the one asking for the bump, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he should know better, but
I don't need national PWG on my TV.
Yeah, there was some crazy bumps this week. I think we covered all of them, but
that's the taken.
Yeah, and it's not for me. I wasn't trying to put it as WWE versus AEW with it. It's just, again, what we said. That's the one person that didn't need that bump to happen.
Yeah.
So if they sit there and say in a couple of weeks that Adam Cole's out indefinitely, I'm not going to be surprised. Then Tony can do his favorite thing and do another tournament.
Yeah. Well, listen, I said if Josh Alexander eats the pin, I'm done watching AEW. They just saved it till Wednesday night for him to eat a pin and lose again. Now, he lost to Brody King, who needed a win. So I'm not that mad at it, but it's like, again, you talk about killing people, killing debuts. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Needs more.
You're doing this for a fatal four-way? You're doing a tournament for a fatal four-way?
Yeah, for Kenny Omega. Another tournament. You just wrapped up a tournament for another tournament.
For next week's 4-hour edition of Dynamite.
So is this a way to get the belt off Kenny without the pin?
No, because it's going to be him and Okada at All In for winner take all.
He's just booked the tournament for nothing.
For nothing.
Just for a match.
Oh, God.
And next week's 4-hour Dynamite is part of the reason why I'm saying I'm not even watching anything until All In. Because, again, hey, WWE wants to give me a 3-hour edition of SmackDown when I don't want it. I don't want a 4-hour edition of Dynamite.
Is it Dynamite and Collision, or is it just Dynamite?
No, it's just Spider Fest.
I don't know if Collision's off next week, and that's part of it. But yeah, it's just Dynamite next week. Because of what Steve said. It's Fighter Fest.
Let's see. Hopefully my DVR cuts off at 2 hours. All right, let's get into our...
Exactly, Ty.
Let's get into our debate this. We talk about the HPI every week, the Hogan Power Index. Let's go with the least selfish wrestlers in the game.
Where did you find this list at?
This was the WWE list. I just typed in unselfish wrestlers, and Sportsters had one.
This is a WWE owned list.
Sports
actually ran this.
Yeah, there was a wrestlers all together, but they had like wrestlers back in the day, like Bob Eaton. I'm like, we don't know those people. So
you went with the modern day.
Yeah. So they just pegged that one as WWE only.
Where is brother on this list?
Hey, He couldn't.
He
crack
should be
the top
number one.
10.
He's not selfish. He's doing it to protect the business.
He gave you that idea to do this.
Called up Sportster. I'm not surprised at the top three at all.
Yeah, no.
Now, the only thing that's tough about this, we know their characters and we hear stuff, but we don't actually know any of these people to know all the stuff that they do to make them unselfish. But I mean, yeah. I'm not surprised at all at the top three.
I don't even know how to debate this. Like, to me, this is like one of the dumbest things to put on a list.
We could talk about the brother every week.
Least, like, how do you quantify least selfish?
Who puts people over?
But
I'd put Seth Rollins on this list. Before WrestleMania, I'd put Becky on this list. I'd put The Miz on this list.
Miz is a company guy.
Yeah. I'd take current Jericho off this list.
Yeah, this had to have been pre-AEW.
I mean, I guess because the Big Show's had 975 heel babyface turns, that he should be number one on this list because, you know, he just
another company guy. So we want you to turn you. We want to turn you face. We want to turn you heel and face again in the same match. Sounds good, boss.
It's just because of like who they lose to. Like I just don't understand the premise of the list.
More putting people over in general. The Rock surprises me.
Like Chris said, it feels like more like who's the company guy who goes in there and does the work. If that's the case, Taker will be on this list too.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, Cena should be number one.
I was thinking about saying Cena. I mean, there was times where it wasn't, but yeah, there's definitely his United States run was all about putting people over.
Yeah.
Agreed, DJ. It has to be all WWE.
Yeah. That was the list. It was all WWE people. Which I'm surprised they went as far back as Steamboat though.
Yeah. Yeah, the only one that really shocks me on this list is The Rock.
Yeah, I agree with you, Squeeze.
Agreed.
You'll be there. Tell us how it is, man.
Yep. Come on the show that week.
Take some no-dos.
Don't worry, the dumb marks will be there live, and I'll get boots on the ground feedback from the individuals that I'm on the show with, or that I'm at the show with. So, yeah. Although now that I'm thinking about Squeeze's offer, I'm not sure what the tickets cost, but a beer down there is like $30, so he might be getting one over on me. Talking about I'll give you the brother discount. I don't know, Squeeze.
Is it one beer or is there a beer for the night?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not beer for the night. Not at those prices.
Like called it the brother makes you feel like you're getting over.
You might have to call that friend that owns a bar across the street and be like, "Hey, we're the pregame."
Yeah, I'm gonna get down to the arena and Squeeze and be like, "Oh yeah, that price, brother, don't work for me. It's now $250."
All right.
I don't give a flying bleep about this stupid ass list.
We talk about selfish people every week. Now we don't give a shit about the least selfish. All right. Next time I'll put up the Hogan Power Index. We'll officially debut that. Any quick hitters before we wrap it up? I don't give a shit about. No, go ahead.
That would have been the perfect way to wrap it up. the man who should not be named launched his new company yesterday.
Okay.
There was rumors past 2 weeks, not so much rumors, but because Jonathan Coachman brought it up, that he feels that Vince is trying to buy back WWE. Not saying it's going to happen, but the company he's launching sounds very much like Endeavor.
So entertainment
focused and kind of investing into companies, and trying to build a portfolio. It's like, not saying it's going to happen, but could it happen? Yeah. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens with that. But.
I guess for me, one thing that's WWE adjacent. Hold on.
Other one I had, I don't know who. This isn't for me because I rarely use it, but if there's anybody out there that probably does, it looks like Triller is going to be going away at some point. Formerly Fight Network, or just not Fight Network, Fight. Yeah, it looks like the company's, just constantly losing money. It looks like they're going to end up being taken off of being a publicly traded company soon. So unless something happens or somebody buys them out.
Were they still delivering AEW product?
Outside the US, yeah. AEW Plus, I think they call it. They still do that. TNA used to run with it. I know GCW heavily runs on it. A lot of independent wrestling heavily runs on it because I think if you have like whatever their subscription is, you get a lot of live events on there. So yeah, if you're a fan that watches a lot of indie wrestling and you happen to subscribe to Triller, just keep an eye on that in the coming weeks.
I kind of feel like COVID prolonged their lifespan.
Definitely could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever it was just Fight, there had to have been a reason why Triller bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's making the money at all.
I gotta go. So
everything okay?
Yeah. Yeah. No, Yeah. I'll just. All
right.
Bye.
I'm trying to see if I have anything else. I don't think I have much else other than that.
Didn't see anything worth noting on my timeline.
Yeah, that looks like everything I had.
All right. Well, we will wrap this up. Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of the Dumb Marks Podcast. Find us on all social media platforms at Dumb Marks Pod. Head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees, buy some merch. We'll give you a live shout out on air. Tune in next week where we'll give you our predictions for
Triple A.
Triple A. Let me say it.
When worlds collide.
When worlds collide, and there's one more.
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. There's just the two.
TNA's next Friday, so we won't do predictions.
Okay, cool. With that being said, the quote of the week is nothing will work unless you do. Tune in next week.